This video is on hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis is the pathway of formation for the cellular elements in the vascular system. Blood is made of both a cellular and a liquid component. The liquid component of blood is plasma, which contains proteins, antibodies, and clotting factors. The cellular component is composed of the formed elements, which are the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the non-cellular pieces of membrane called platelets. Hematopoiesis is the formation of these cells in the bone marrow. Hematopoiesis starts with the hematopoietic stem cell, the HSC. This undifferentiated cell lives in the bone marrow. When the HSC divides, one daughter cell goes on to differentiate and the other returns to the HSC pool, keeping the pool populated. The released cell can differentiate into either a myeloid cell or a lymphoid cell. This video is about the myeloid cell. This myeloid precursor cell can develop into a number of different cells through three pathways or lineages. In the first pathway, the stem cell becomes a megakaryocyte. As the name implies, this is a large cell. It is the parent cell for the formation of platelets. Pieces of the megakaryocyte membrane pinch off as cell fragments. These fragments enter the blood as platelets, an important first step in blood clotting. Another lineage is the erythroid stem cell pathway. This cell will develop into the erythrocyte, or red blood cell. These cells contain hemoglobin, which carries oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. 98% of all cells in the formed elements part of the blood are erythrocytes. The RBCs live for about 120 days before being destroyed and their parts recycled, so we must make around 1% of the total number of RBCs in our blood every day to keep up with the loss. The control mechanism to produce the RBC is in the kidney, through the hormone erythropoietin. The third lineage is the granulocyte monocyte common precursor. One such cell in this pathway is the monocyte. This cell is known by several names. When it is in the blood, it is a monocyte. When it leaves the vascular system to enter the tissues, it becomes a macrophage or a dendritic cell. These cells become the first responders to infections and will migrate to sites of inflammation to phagocytize invaders, bacteria or viruses, and to hand off antigens to the T and B cells. The granulocyte part of this lineage can produce neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. The neutrophil contains granular elements filled with bactericidal substances that will leave the vascular system to enter sites of infection or inflammation. The eosinophil cell has granules filled with highly basic or cationic proteins. These cells are the main attack against parasites and worms. The basophil granules contain heparin, a blood thinner, and vasoactive amines that produce part of the inflammatory response. When the basophil leaves the vascular system, it is termed a mast cell. The mast cell in the tissues responds to injury, starts the inflammatory response, and plays a role in many forms of allergy. The HSC produces the formed elements of blood that are important as first responders to infection and injury. This concludes the video on hematopoiesis.